We're here at the Wind Chime project today. Why don't you take a second to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Marilyn.
And hi, I'm Lawrence.
What was it like first building your home in the late 90s?
It was actually a very interesting process. We were living in Ontario at the time, so it was a long distance build. And we remember making a lot of trips back and forth and having to make a lot of decisions in a very short period of time. And I guess Marilyn would say we probably second guessed a lot of those decisions once we got home. But
I don't know, it turned out great. We had a great relationship with your mom and dad and with Olenka that was working with them at the time, and she helped a lot, make it a lot easier to make the decisions.
It was hard but fun. We always had a lot of fun when we came, and we're very pleased with the final outcome of the home.
What was the biggest challenge when rebuilding your home after the fire?
The rebuild process actually went really well, it went really smooth. We didn't have any major challenge in the rebuild. I think more of the challenges were in living somewhere that wasn't your home for a period of time. Those were probably the things that we had to work through the most.
Like one challenge when you're dealing with a situation like this is that you have a fire, you have insurance, you have a time frame to replace your possessions. So that was probably the biggest challenge I had, was going to the stores, like shopping constantly to try to replace what you could in the time frame that you had.
That was a real challenge, and it's everything from knives and forks to couches and beds.
But the build part was way easier than that.
What changed after rebuilding your custom home?
It's hard to say. Nothing major changed. We built very much the same home again as far as the footprint. We made some minor adjustments. So when we came back, it was home very quickly. It wasn't something that felt foreign. We just felt like, that we were back home.
I think Feenstra did a very good job the first time around, or Pine Creek, I guess it's called now. And so we didn't really need to do anything change because it was a perfect house the first time, so it was great.
What are some of the best results you can share about rebuilding your custom home?
Well, you definitely got an upgraded home. Anything that you thought over the last almost 25 years that was getting dated is now new, so it's a bonus. Anything that was like your furnace and that was me, I was on its last legs, all new, so that's great.
We talked about the challenges of having to replace so much stuff, and there's some stuff you can't replace, so that was hard. But I love the new staircase in the home, some of the enhancements we made downstairs as far as being able to move the furnace, which had bothered me for years, that we kind of had a narrow spot, and we were able to adjust that. And the wet bar area is much nicer than what we had before. It's a bunch of small things. It's nothing big in and of itself. It's very much the same home, but it's updated and feels fresh and new.
If you knew someone in the same situation, what would be one piece of advice you would give them?
I know the piece of advice I would give them is our insurance company was great. We worked very well with them. But, for cost factors, they want you to replace stuff a lot more instead of trying to clean stuff. And I think in hindsight, we wished there was a few more things that we had actually salvaged, because there was a lot of smoke damage. It wasn't stuff burnt for the most part. We would have probably tried to save more stuff, because you can't replace some things you can't even find anymore. Simple things that you just liked having, and you can't find that particular thing anymore. So that would be my one piece of advice.
And I also think get your own builder if you can, or look at more possibilities than what the insurance company wants to present to you. So they always tell you to get a few bids, and they present a couple bids, but like in our case, we really wanted you guys to rebuild it again, so we'd got you guys to submit a bid also.
Yeah, the insurance companies have their preferred vendors, right? And they have a relationship with them, so that's really where they'd like you to go. But they're very open if you ask for it, to say, hey, I would like this particular company. In our case, it was Pine Creek. We wanted Pine Creek to also be part of the bid process.
What are your favorite details and also spaces in your home?
I love the office. I love the dark walls in the office, and the fact it's east facing, so you get your morning light in there, especially in the wintertime. I like the fact there's a bench in the back foyer there, so that you can sit down and get your boots on and that in the wintertime. And even, I guess, the open space in this room too. There's more space for our growing family.
I love how the powder room turned out. It's fantastic. I think just the overall experience. Marilyn talked about the office and the dark blue walls, and I learned through that process, trusting a designer, because when Amanda first suggested that dark blue, I was not so sure, but I love it. It turned out fantastic, and I'm really glad that we trusted her. And so I guess, that'd be a bit of the message. trust the designer.
Yeah,
They've got great eyes, and they see stuff that in a way that we don't necessarily see. And yeah, you just gotta let go sometimes. I had mentioned earlier about the wet bar area downstairs. Just again, going with the dark blue colors in that bar area, and it looks rich, and it's such a highlight in the basement area. So that turned out fantastic, and we're super happy with the result there.
Are there any other details about your home that you would like to share?
There's actually one small little detail, and it's a strange one, but we had one post on our outside veranda that was in the middle of our sitting area, that we got that post removed and put a new beam in so that we could do that. And it's a small thing, but it's just great now when we're out there. We're always talking about, so glad this stupid post isn't in our way anymore.
Can you summarize your experience with Pine Creek Homes?
Amanda and Katie were great. Like, they were amazing. All around, it was a good experience. Any questions we had were answered. And as far as the design team, they had such good ideas, but if you had a different idea, they were quite receptive to changing or to working with your idea too, to make it all work together. So was very appreciated.
It again comes back to, you need to trust the design team, and they sat down with us and they talked to us about what we liked, got a feel for who we were and what we wanted to see in the house. And then they brought us some choices, but we didn't have to look at 500 different pieces of carpet and all kinds of different alternatives on wood. Right? So they had a really good feel for what we wanted to see in our house again. As Marilyn said, Amanda and Katie were just great to work with, and yourself, Josh, and it was just a good relationship. I knew I could pick up the phone, and I always got a hold of you. I didn't have to wait 3 days for a call back or anything like that. That was really appreciated by us.
Yeah.